Hello and welcome to the channel. This is Gone with Gandalf. This is the second episode of my Woodland Realm campaign for Divide and Conquer version 4.5. And I pick up where I left off last time, and hopefully this time we can get the economy back out of the red, and also we will be taking on Dol Guldur in earnest. The last episode was very much it was setting the foundation, certainly, so we had to take it quite easy because there was no one else to really attack. But now there are no real rebel regions. There is one here, but I think it's best to get on Dol Guldur quickly, because they will certainly start gunning for us from over here, from the southern end of the forest. And we'd like to get them out of the game and move on to other threats. Now, did I already approach these fellows? I don't know. I'm going to try and get some money out of them, because we are very poor. So if I just give them map information for 500... Oh, okay, great. And now we shall move him off to Anduin, maybe. Flog them for a bit. Now, this is red, but 70% public order. They won't hopefully revolt. They might kill a few of our soldiers, but we've only got a few left. And also what I want to do, I'll pull one of these out as reinforcements. They are no longer free now, and they're costing 330. So we are going to go further into the red. However, my strategy is that if I just group up all the forces that I can in the beginning, and then kind of get a large as possible empire going, they will all passively give me income that way, and then hopefully, well, we don't want to kill our own troops, but eventually they will die, and therefore, that's less people you have to pay. So it's kind of a win-win. The only thing I do worry about is now do we want to take him on? No, not yet. Okay, Goblins of Moria. Now, the only thing that we don't want to do is, by stretching ourselves too thin... See, look, there's a force there who wants to kill us, but we don't care. I think we can take him. If we stretch ourselves too thin, and out of nowhere there just comes a large stack of orcs, they could easily just wipe out our entire, our family tree, for one, and our entire army with it. So that would be a pickle, and that is a bit of a risk. But it's the way things have to go. Now, I am slightly concerned by the orcs of Gundabad occupying this region. I believe there is a village just here, out of our range. We do have some watchtowers here along the some very nice models there. But we will hopefully see them coming down this road, and there's some cheese that can be done to basically I'll use the towers to shoot as many as they can. Now, what else can we do? Move these along. Moria is over here, but yeah, the dwarves of Khazad-dûm, of course, currently hold that region. But as we skip by these turns, because it's quite a slow campaign to begin with, basically, if you haven't been on my channel before, this is my second video like this, but usually I tend to post videos about questions surrounding Middle-earth, and I answer them. That is a very, it's quite difficult until you do it. It's hard to talk in a cohesive manner whilst also playing a game, watching what's happening, and trying to... Also, English isn't my first language. It's a bit of a cop-out because I've been here for quite a while. But we're up against not very good 5 and 8. We've got a lot of archers. We're going to shoot them all, and they do have archers, but we have much greater range. And that's the kind of be-all and end-all. Oh, it's an ambush as well. So even easier. So, as I was rudely interrupted by myself, I tend to post videos where I answer questions that I think are quite useful to know about. If you've only just watched the films, or if it's been a while since you watched the films or read the books, I do this myself, and I thought, oh well, why not talk about it a little bit? And I do go into the books and fact check myself, kind of. It's fact checking does seem like a very odd. Oh, this is an ambush, of course. So they're there, and we're going to set up our extremely overpowered generals, Thranduil and Legolas, father and son here today. Take your son to work, and trounce the orcs, and then that is all the infantry we have. Okay, well, they're going to go there, and then we're basically just going to shoot them from this here mountainside or hill. Shoot them, and you, Legolas, can shoot them. And to be honest, I'm not too bothered about who they shoot, but actually kill the archers, because I don't see them getting close to us. Oh, the Elven King's Bowguard. I mean, considering how old this game is, they do look fantastic. And this is the model this model rather, is very similar to, in the Hobbit films, that the elves have the armour from the films. I'm just mincing. I just can't speak. And so if you've seen Battle of the Five Armies, this is of course what they look like. And this particular unit has that. And then here we have... Used to be called Elven King's Guard, and now it's called Arethiri. We've got some javelins firing off. Fire at will. I don't foresee us taking too many losses, because we are just so much better than them. And to be honest, I'm not too bothered if they attack Thranduil or Legolas, because they are just, my guys are so much better. Now there's only 33, and there goes the general. Thank you, narrator man. And they've only got 24 of these fellows left. But I'm not too bothered if these take losses. Because, as I said in the last video, if you've played this game before, I don't mean to demean those that haven't, but bodyguards in this game replenish up to a maximum of 77. So Legolas here, he's currently got 70 in his number, so even though he goes below that, he will replenish up to 77. And Thranduil as well will replenish and do the same. So even as long as he himself doesn't die, and where is he? He is just here in his silver armour, just jeering on from the back, going like, "Go on, lads, kill him." And here is Legolas just watching, like, "Oh, that looks interesting." Like, who's still fighting? Oh, right on cue. How many died? Well, we need to capture 1 more %. Because at 85%, then the army gets wiped off the campaign map as well. So we'll just take a few more just to make sure. And we have already killed the general, so okay, I think that's enough. And did we actually take... We took no casualties at all. So, whilst the auto-resolve does show that apparently it's quite a close-run thing, as long as you make use of your archers as the elves, there are 3 elven factions in this game, and or 3.5, because there's Dorwinion, where you get to choose to side with elves and use them in your roster. But generally, the main rule of playing elves in this campaign is that don't take too many losses, because as you've already seen, some of our units take 25 turns before we can recruit another similar one. So it's whereas orcs, on the other hand, it's like you get some of their trash. You can get 1 unit of those every 6 turns or something. But they are absolutely rubbish, so there is that. Okay, we don't want anyone just yet. I do want one to potentially govern one of these 2 towns, Thranduil or Erindollen. Just because they're much better at defending, and then they can get free upkeep. So I don't have to pay for them, because as you can see, Legolas is costing 349. And these units are costing quite a lot. So enemy army routed, and just telling us how poor we are. Dol Guldur don't like us, Erebor does like us, and Dol Guldur now like us even less. So, is there... Yes, so we'll go here and speak to Anduin and flog them our map information. I'm not sure if we've got trade rights, I can't remember. Oh, wait, hang... Oh. Where are you getting, Shagrat? Best not be coming over here. Because I can't... Oh, no. This isn't going to go too well, is it? Oh, okay, there's also an army coming over there. Wait, can he reach? He can't. So, he's going to have to wait to... Oh, yeah, so this is what we have to worry about. But for now, another end turn. So, I'm not going to just continually try and plug my channel some more, but whilst people might be watching this, I recently did a video on how to use a Palantir. I called it something along the lines of Comprehensive Palantir Guide. I might just link it in the top right. Well, so what I did there was I read through the Unfinished Tales, and there's some interesting information there that you don't get, certainly not from the films. So I thought if people find that interesting, I'll talk about it. And so if you do find that kind of thing interesting, kind of like learning more about Middle Earth, or if you already know it, then you might just enjoy my take on it. Because, wait, what's his name? Ishgaz. Well, he's only got his bodyguard unit, which isn't too bad, but we will just shoot him. We can't really auto-resolve for the reasons that I've already made. That if I were to auto-resolve, I'll take 30 losses perhaps, and that's almost half a unit of my Elven archers, and I can't be having that because I can't afford to recruit anymore. And but yeah, I mean, I personally like to, but I'm just weird, aren't I? But I like to watch videos about all kinds of things, really, but in particular Lord of the Rings lore. Even though I might already know some part of it, it's just entertaining for me to listen to someone else give their opinion on it. And so yeah, okay, so I'm just going to keep this on ×6 speed, because this should be a very quick affair. All that we need to do really is bust through this gate here, and then we're just going to send in Legolas and Thranduil to do the rest, because they are beasts. But as I have whilst I am perhaps overusing these two a little bit at the beginning, there isn't really anything else to use them for. Usually you maybe have only one general per army, and certainly that's good when you've got enough for more than one army in terms of your economy. And I will be doing that. I will be splitting them up when I can, because having them both in the same army is a waste. But these are the early stages, and there are many battles to fight. As you've seen, there are 2 large-ish armies, certainly in terms of numbers, coming for us, so we'll have to take them out one by one. I don't think we can really hang out in the settlement. We'll have to go and fight them in the field, because that is our forte. Really. An interesting depiction of a... This is probably just a ranger of the north, just judging by the green cloak and fancy sword. Looks like he's probably quite cold. Get some gloves, maybe. Because these are... I've forgotten what these are called. I feel like they're maybe called something. They're like long arrowhead type things, but I don't think they're like a weapon. Oh, I don't know. I'll shut up. But we are just going to... why would you even... I suppose... But sacking, all you're doing is killing and getting nothing in return. You're actually getting money just from occupying it. So they've got a butchery in here, so we could train a spy in here. But we're not going to. Because spies cost moolah. How much do they cost? I think they're like... Oh wait, how do you check that? If you go here, upkeep 100, yeah. So this is our reinforcing fellow, and we did see an army here somewhere. I wonder if they're in the trees, or did they go back? We will probably end up stumbling into them. To be honest, if they take this settlement whilst we're just nipping out, it's not the end of the world. Oh, yes! Okay, so this fellow here, Ulairon, he's got Kamul's Shadow Rangers, and not all of Dol Guldur's generals are like this, but he is a very, very good general, because he is obviously auto-replenishing and an archer, and a very good one, whereas their standard general is pretty... Well, they're not bad, they are effective against armour, so what that does is halves this stat here. So if this came up against another armour-piercing unit, their total defence would be negated by 4 or 5. So this would be like 9, 14. So it is very useful. However, they've got another one. Okay, well, it's okay. We've got Thranduil and Legolas. But it's important to take these out, because if you do not, you will be surrounded by 3 or 4 of these similar kinds of armies. And whilst you can take them out one by one because your archers get ammo, once they're out of ammo or arrows, they're very, very bad. So 6 in missile damage is very good. Particularly for... This is like our first archer unit. This is like our most basic archer unit, and a 6 missile damage is equal to Dol Guldur's best, most elite force. Okay, turn on fire at will, what have you. Maybe they'll come towards us. But yeah, so like the Northern Dunedain, for instance, they have Dunedain Rangers, and actually quite a number of human nations have what you'd call Rangers, similar to actually Kamul's Shadow Rangers over there. And they have high missile damage, usually around, I think they're all in the range of 5 to 7, because they do have slightly differing stats depending on their faction. And they have a lot of missiles, usually about 32, and very good accuracy. So they're like the nation's best. Where archery is concerned, they're usually the best that they have. So the Elven King's Bowguard here, whilst they are very good, they're not actually our best archers, even though they have a missile attack over 10. They are very, very good. And the Arethiri, they have 11 attacks, so they are very good, but they're not our best. But that'll be... we'll get them much later on, I expect. Now, eventually, we are going to get in range, because they're on this hill, and hills in this game do increase they increase the range of a unit standing at the top. So they're given the same range. Well, basically they can shoot us from further away. That's what I'm trying to say. I think there is actually a bonus to missile damage as well. Now, Orc Maulers, they're going to do a lot of damage to us. See, they've got these big weapons, and they are effective against armor. They're not very good, but they, as I told about the armor stat, it halves it, and my guys here, they have a lot of armor. That 14 armor turns to 7. So actually, we might be in a bit of trouble here, because Legolas, the general always stands on the left-hand side of a unit, so he is taking the brunt here. Take off guard mode. It makes them fight worse. It does make them hold the line a bit better, but it tends to make them fight worse because they don't like advance towards the enemy. They just take the hit. We'll turn that on. I'm not entirely sure what that does, but oh no. Run away! Run away! We want to shoot them first. We will take some losses because that's how it goes in this game. Some always stay behind, and I apologise if me playing at a faster speed is jarring, because quite frankly, I feel like perhaps watching me just play at the normal speed, this will take a fairly long time, I think. And ultimately, these are kind of done and dusted battles, or as I see them anyway. Like, I don't see how we could lose these battles. It's only like, how many men will we lose? But do, if you know, post your suggestions down below. I do read all of the I mean, I don't get many comments, so I'm not gonna lie, it doesn't take much reading, but I can read, and it's always good to practice, especially now with this lockdown. But okay, we can leave them to go because the general has already died and they are routing anyway. So all that is left now are these Shadow Rangers. Sounds awfully edgy. Like a 12-year-old in, I don't know, like, the Shadow Rangers. I can't remember which, well, there's 2 of them, isn't there? So which one is it that we actually have to, so I think this fellow here is Ulairon. Ooh, wait, how, so Ulairon. Sindarin is very, for me, it's pretty simple to pronounce. Well, well, that sounds very. That came out completely wrong. I'm not saying that there's only one way to pronounce it, but just like in any language, there's people speak in a variety of ways. If you go to England, people speak almost a foreign language in Liverpool, and you move like 20 miles up the road to Manchester, and suddenly it's like the two. You wouldn't think that they'd be so close to each other because they are so different. However, Sindarin is very similar in its pronunciation rules as Finnish, and Finnish is one of the languages that I speak. So it's just like reading Finnish. Although DH is it's like a voiceless TH, like in the word theft. Because Tolkien was a lover of language, and Welsh was another one of his favoured languages, and I believe in Welsh that rule applies. Although I do not speak any Welsh, although I do have some Welsh friends. One in particular, I like to always kind of boast to him how much I know Welsh, and I just say Cymru, which is Welsh for Wales, although he likes to remind me that it's pronounced Cymru. But killed them all. We sadly didn't catch Ulairon, so we'll have to catch him another day. We do not have the movement to catch him. But, well, that's another army. He'll come back, probably, at the head of another army, but his troops he'll have to go and train again. Okay, so we can give them trade rights, have the map information. They are poor. That's not good. Because we want lots of money. We want lots of money. How about give us 200 over 6 turns? That's balanced? Yes. So that's gonna. I mean, I did set out with the idea that we would sort out the economy, and made a bonus of 39 coins there. But we are still 5,000 in the red. However, I'm not overly fussed about that because, as I said, apart from obviously buildings are very important. You do need buildings. If you do not build, for instance, military infrastructure, you won't be able to acquire or recruit the best units that your faction has to offer. But then you have to pay those units, and you can't pay those units if you do not build an economy to support it. And sadly, we can't borrow from other nations as we do in the real world. Okay, so this region here, Central Mirkwood, there is a town somewhere around here, judging by the road. That is not currently held by Dol Guldur, and they're not going to come and after us. The rebels don't. They stay in their cities up until I think the 30th turn. So what I'd rather do is make sure that we take out Dol Guldur from this area, because there is a region here this connects to that they may have. So I'm going to leave these spearmen there. We're going to move along, and we'll take those. And they're still reasonably happy. We'll turn on low tax rate because we want this population to grow quite a lot. And then Thranduil is going to march on Buralj. And we'll get a town, hopefully. And interestingly, that Gundabad force has retreated, but I would not trust them because they may very well come back. But there's nothing we can do. There's nothing we can do. You just have to roll with the punches. And it can be quite stressful playing as the elves because you don't get very many troops, and you're up against 2 orc factions potentially. That certainly Dol Guldur, they get a lot of troops. And you just have to make sure every single victory is every victory is worthwhile. But then you also need to make sure the victory is a good one. You need clear victories, astounding victories, so the people may write. Oh, we're only losing 100 coins or so. Okay, so I would like to build a watchtower here so we could actually see, but we do not have the money.
Over here, elves. My lord. Approaching quietly.
Well, it's quite handy that they've moved this army here out, because we can kill that one, and then we can kill this one. So it's very handy for us indeed. I did just think of what if, like, how much money do I get if I don't want to lose population. So 1,067 as opposed to 900. It's not worth 150 coins to have no population growth. We'll give it one more end turn. I don't want this to be super long. I'd prefer it to be around half an hour because my upload speed is atrocious. It's absolutely appalling. So much so that the last video that I uploaded, which was like an hour long pretty much, that took like 4 hours to upload. Wow. Okay, well, I'm going to leave you on a cliffhanger here because I don't want to fight this battle now because this will take probably 15 minutes. But next episode I will hopefully absolutely smash this army. Hopefully they do. Oh, they've got wargs. I will hopefully smash these 2 armies, and then Burrauge is there for the taking. And we've won the first stage of the war against Dol Guldur. But that is for next time. And, well, if you enjoyed this video, please do subscribe so you don't miss the next one. I do usually upload videos on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. But I might squeeze another one in next week due to this new series that has kicked off, and I don't want to stop making the other kinds of videos that I make. If you didn't watch the first one, then potentially watch that one before you watching this. But you're watching this at the end, so I don't know what I'm talking about. But I'm going with Gandalf now. Good day.